absorbed moisture and then forced the cloud to fall into the ocean.
Big goings on at PBIA this afternoon. This jet from Dynomat took off, filled to the gills with this powder. Their destination, a rain cloud somewhere over the Atlantic. This is the plane which took off from PBIA at just after 3:30. The plane was loaded with a super absorbent powder which turns water into a kind of jelly, which causes it to fall into the ocean. The team coordinated with the tower at PBIA to find a storm cloud off the coast of Stewart. Now, we too monitor their progress back here with our Doppler radar. The tower verified through us our cloud coordinates and dumped the chemical into the cloud. Basically, we saw that cloud disappear, come back, but the tower says that they did see the cloud completely disappear, meaning the Dynomat team is in good spirits.
Well, the results that we just got back, as you heard yourself, it did change the radar.
What if man could beat Mother Nature and take the proverbial wind out of a hurricane's sails? Don't laugh. There is a company in Florida that's betting the farm it can be done. In fact, they just might be close. They've come up with a powder called Dino Gel. You sprinkle it on a cloud and it makes the water droplets gel and fall to the ground. Presto, the cloud disappears. And you're about to see the first successful test. Take a look at the bomber. It's carrying the special powder. In fact, up ahead, look at that, there it goes. It's released into the air. It shoots out more than 9,000 pounds of that magic powder, in fact. The cloud just below it ends up getting seeded with it, so to speak, and within seconds, voila, take a look. The report card is Peter Cordani, the Chief Executive Officer of Dynomat, the makers of Dino Gel, that magic powder. He's with us from West Palm Beach. Peter, your head's in the clouds, and it looks like something's actually working. What you got going on?
I don't know if you're aware, about a year ago, I had the opportunity to go up with some aircraft and cut a cloud in half. And then we went about 8 months ago, and we had the ability in the aircraft to remove a cloud out of the atmosphere. So through those results and testings led us to this test. And yesterday was the first opportunity that I had to use the large aircraft.
Okay, but, you know, making one small cloud go away is one thing, and tearing down the power of a hurricane is another. How close would you be to that?
We're real close, we feel, at this point, because yesterday what we attacked was a building thunderstorm, and that a collective group of building thunderstorms creates the hurricane. So what we wanted to get across, we wanted to see if we could remove it off the radar, and we were successful at doing that.
Some are claiming we could see double the number of total storms. So what can we do to prevent Mother Nature's power? Our next guest has more than an idea, an invention that he says can disrupt the spin of a hurricane and suck out some of its moisture. With us from West Palm Beach is the CEO of Dynomat, Peter Cordani. Peter, good to see you.
Thank you.
So it could have turned Andrew into something less, could have turned Hugo into something less. How would it work?
Well, the product is like a baby powder substance, and if you fly into a storm or over the storm with aircraft and release this powder, it absorbs moisture on contact. So we feel by pulling the moisture out, it'll pull the strength out of the storm and slow it down.
Tell me about testing you've done.
We've done all types of testing. Last year, we did remove a building thunderstorm off the Doppler radar, and through that led us to other testings where
Wait a minute.
been testing up.
You removed a building thunderstorm from Doppler radar.
Yes, that's correct.
Tell me.
We went out of West Palm Beach last year, out of the West Palm Beach airport. We had the airport put us on some thunderstorms, and we sent the aircraft up, and when we did that, the aircraft released the load. It absorbed all the moisture and pulled the thunderstorm and forced it down to the ocean immediately.
But one local company is trying to take the steam out of storms by scattering the clouds before they can do any damage. Fox's Brett Baer shows us.
The awesome power of a hurricane.
Wilmington, North Carolina is getting battered by Hurricane Floyd.
And the horrible devastation it often leaves behind. Now, a South Florida company says it has a weapon to fight a hurricane's fury. It's called Dino Gel, a specially formulated powder that instantly absorbs moisture.
Go over a storm building, dump our powders into it, and you can see instantly how it absorbs all that moisture.
3, 2, 1, drop.
In the most recent test, after spreading Dino Gel over a building thundercloud, the cloud disappeared.
The Palm Beach airport verified it, cleared it off the radar.
The gel falls into the ocean.
Just regular salt water.
The company says it's biodegradable and not hazardous to the environment. Since hurricanes gain their strength from circulating and gathering moisture, Dynamat's CEO says their product can basically take out a hurricane's legs.
Our goal is to take a pie shape out of the hurricane, out of the eye. A pie-shaped piece. If we could take that out, we'll turn the winds into themselves and we'll collapse the storm.
With permission from the government, Cordani wants to spread thousands of pounds of Dynagel into the next massive hurricane using military cargo planes. He thinks his product can take the worst out of a storm, potentially shrinking a Category 5 or 4 hurricane to a less dangerous Category 2.
In Riviera Beach, an inventor thinks he may have found a way to stop a hurricane.
It proved the concept, not by my word or any folks from the team or anyone else. We changed the radar, and it's the first time in the world the radar has ever been changed. And that proves the product 110% works.
Peter Cordani invented Dynagel and tested it this summer.
3, 2, 1, drop.
9,000 pounds of the powder dropped from the bottom of a bomber. Cordani says the clouds started to drop like an avalanche to the ground. Palm Beach International Airport says the cloud also disappeared off their radar.
Science may never be able to completely wipe out a hurricane, but we can do more now to prepare for them than ever before.
It's kind of a crop dusting for hurricanes. And now the owners of Dynamat Projects say they've nearly perfected a way, if not to completely kill, at least reduce the strength of one of Mother Nature's most potent and lethal storms. It all starts with this baby powder-like white substance. Now imagine this is the hurricane, churning and swirling around and around, kind of like a tire. They say they'll dump this powder into that churning hurricane, then it will slow it down or give that hurricane a flat tire, turning it into a gel-like substance, dropping it into the ocean and reducing the impact on anybody in its path. They claim that the gel, when it comes into contact with salt water, returns to an environmentally friendly liquid. Testing of the polymer product continued Tuesday at Melbourne International. They're checking how best to deliver the powder-like substance and how much. And the makers of this powder don't have a problem messing with Mother Nature.
The devastation and the impact that a storm does, and if we could just save a couple of lives, I think that is tremendous.
Environmental Report.
The company, Dynamat. Their mission, Project Hurricane. Last summer, in a test off of South Florida, Dynamat dumped its powder on a small rain cloud. The cloud disappeared from the radar screen.
We are the first people in history to clear the radar, so that proves the product works 110%.
Instantly, all of that moisture is then solidified into that gel.
They're using a polymer powder used in agriculture to make water gel around dry roots so the water won't evaporate too fast. This experiment was to see if a new forced air system would push the powder out through a pipe out of the back of the airplane to effectively attack a major cloud. And if so, maybe a hurricane someday.
This will start to cause one side of the storm basically to collapse. In layman's terms, give the storm a flat tire. As it gains moisture, it will continue to gain weight and now drive downwards towards the ocean.
The company says the beauty of the polymer is that while it turns fresh water to gel, it turns back into a liquid in salt water. For the folks at Dynamat, this is their bread and butter business. They make absorbent pads that protect the environment, things that soak up oil, solvents.
This is the mother of all storms. But what if man could harness all that power? Reduce the size of a hurricane. Wipe it out before it does damage.
This will be one of the largest inventions in history.
Peter Cordani's driven to make it happen from this small Riviera Beach, Florida warehouse.
We inserted in here a temperature gauge.
Cordani has made a fortune turning quirky ideas
and allow the player to know they are overheating their body
into money-making ventures.
If someone broke out my window and started running with the bag, I could push this button right here, and this will blow the bag up and inflate it into a 6-foot ball.